So now that we have all these nice tools to use, let's try to go through a very practical use case. So let's try to combine all or a lot of the things that we've covered in the past couple of lectures, and let's try to apply this to some practical use cases, or to one practical use case for this video. So let's simulate a situation where we have a shoe store owner who sells black shoes, or a specific type of black shoe. And they need to keep track of their inventory. And during the day, people come in and they purchase shoes, and he needs to keep track of the inventory. And every time they purchase a shoe, one of the shoes leaves his inventory. And if there are no more shoes left from a specific size, for example, then he can't sell this shoe anymore. So let's try to kind of replicate this in Python and show this kind of simple use case. So the way that we'll go about it is that we'll first create a variable, and we'll call this variable black shoes. So this variable is just gonna contain all the information on the black shoes that he has, so the different sizes and how many of them are available. And the best thing to use in this case would actually be a dictionary. And so the reason that we want to use a dictionary is because we don't really care what order the shoes are in. So we don't really care, if size, we're going to go with European sizes here, if size 42, for example, is in first or in fifth position, we just want to know if we have it or not. And so the best thing that we can do here, or the best thing that we could use here, would be a dictionary. But we'll also see the practicality of the dictionary later on when we run the example and when we see and understand what's happening. So yeah, let's create a dictionary here. And to create a dictionary, we have a variable name, and then we'll put an equal or the assignment, and then we'll open and close curly brackets, and inside here we're going to put our values. So or our key value pairs rather. So our keys are going to be sizes, and our values are going to be how many of those shoes we have. So let's start with size 42, for example. And let's say we've got 2 black shoes of size 42 in stock. So we've got our key is 42, so shoe size 42. And our value is how many of those shoes we have in stock. So in this case, for size 42, we've got 2 shoes in stock. And so let's create another element in this dictionary, so that corresponds to another shoe size. And let's have this shoe size be size 41. And let's say we've got 3 shoes of size 41 in stock. So we've got our 41 here as our key, and then the colon to indicate the corresponding value, which is going to be 3. So 3 corresponds to 41. And we understand that as 3 being the number of shoe sizes of shoe size 41 left. And so let's go to size 40. And here, let's say we have 4, and then let's go to size 39, and let's say for size 39, we have 1, and then let's go to size 38, for example, and for size 38, let's say we have no shoes currently in stock that are size 38. So this is going to be our starting inventory. We're just going to put this in manually, and what we've created here is just an inventory that starts at 42 and goes to 38. So the dictionary is in no particular order. We could have mixed and matched this. We could have gone 42, 38, 40, 39, 41. It doesn't really matter. We just kind of put it in order here because that's the way that we were inputting it. But the dictionary is not in order. So the way I put this in here doesn't really matter, since we're going to be referring to these keys anyway when we want to see how many of these shoes we have left in stock. So yeah, we've just kind of created our simple black shoes dictionary, and this corresponds to an inventory list of black shoes that we have left in stock. Yeah, and so let's just create a loop, and in this loop we're going to ask the user for input for a shoe size they would like to buy. So yeah, let's just start then. We'll create a loop, and we're going to create a while loop. because we want to constantly ask the user for a shoe size to buy, so we would never want to stop selling to them. We just want to constantly ask them if they want to buy more shoes, and if yes, which size. And so to make an infinite loop, what we're going to do is we're going to have a while loop here, or our while keyword, and we'll open and close the brackets. And what we're going to put in here is just true. So what's happening here is we have our while keyword, and we put in here true. And now what this actually means is while true is equal to true. So this is kind of shorthand. If we just leave true in here, what's actually happening is a comparison is going on that's comparing while true, and if you don't put any extra values in here, it always compares it to true. So these are equivalent. If I just put in while true or while true is equal to true, either of these will give us an infinite loop, and they are both equivalent. Yeah, so we can leave this maybe over here as a comment. So true is equal to true. But let's just leave it as the short form here, since it's a little bit more convenient since we have to write less. So we'll leave this here as a comment just so that you can kind of remember what's really going on here. But we'll just leave it as a short form, first of all, to show you that it actually works. But also we don't want to write while true is equal to true every time. We just want to kind of keep it short and simple. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to ask the user for input. So let's create a variable here called purchase size. And inside of this purchase size variable, we're going to save the shoe size that, that the user wants to buy. So we'll have it be equal to, and now we're going to ask for input. So we'll use the input keyword, and then open and close parentheses. And inside here, we'll prompt them with the message, which shoe size would you like to buy? So what we're doing is we've created a variable purchase size, and inside of the variable, we're saving user input, and the message that we're giving the user is, which shoe size would you like to buy? And let's just add a new line maybe here at the end, just for some nice formatting. But what we're really doing is that we've put in, we're asking for user input here, and so that's going to get saved in purchase size, and we'll be displaying to the user, which shoe size would you like to buy? And then we use the backslash to indicate that the next character is going to be special, and then we have the n here, and the backslash n corresponds to a new line. So we're going to print, which shoe size would you like to buy? And then we're also going to print a new line. And this is just to kind of tell the user what we're expecting from them. And since we expect an integer value, so 41 or 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, we're also going to convert this input to an integer value directly. So we'll put the in keyword in front of the input, we'll open our brackets in front of the input, and we'll close them around. So what we're doing is we're asking for input, and we're telling the user which shoe size would you like to buy. We're printing a new line. Then the user can input the shoe size that they would like to buy, and this is going to get saved as a string or as a word. And then we're going to convert that word, if possible, to an integer. And this integer we're then going to save in purchase size. So yeah. So now we've got the shoe size that the user would like to purchase. So let's access this, and so the next thing that we'll do is we're gonna access our black shoes, and we want to decrease the amount that we have in stock by 1 of the corresponding shoe size. So for example, if the user puts in the shoe size 41, we want to take 1 shoe away from our 41, since we're selling this shoe, and it's going to go out of our stock, and it's going to go to the user. So what we're going to do is we're going to access our black shoes dictionary, which corresponds to our inventory list of the black shoes, and we're going to access the key that corresponds, or the value that corresponds to the purchase size. So the purchase size, if we remember, is just the shoe size that the user would like to buy. And what we're going to do here is we're going to, inside this black shoes dictionary or inside our inventory list, we're going to access the shoe size, which we have here from the user input. And so this is how we access it. And what we're going to do is we're going to decrease it by 1. So we're going to do minus equals 1. And so what this minus equals does is that it decreases the size by 1. So this would be the same as writing is equal to black shoes purchase size. So is equal to our current value of the black shoes of the shoe size in this black shoes inventory list. So for example, if our purchase size is 41, then we're saying our size 41, the new value is going to be equal to, and then here we reference the current value, which is 3, and we're going to do minus 1. So what we're doing is we're decreasing this value here. So the black shoes and purchase size, if purchase size, for example, is 40, black shoes and the value of purchase size is going to be 3. So here we're going to see 3 minus 1. So our new value corresponding to the key 41 is going to be 3 minus 1, which is going to be 2. And so this is a very long way of writing it out. So let's just comment this out. And a very simple form of writing this out is just writing minus equals 1. So this minus equals, and then putting the number here, corresponds to all of this. And so what it's doing is it's taking the current value and it's just subtracting 1 from the current value. And so it's a very nice shorthand notation rather than writing out black shoes purchase size minus 1, so that we're subtracting 1 from the current value. We're just going to use this shorthand notation that we're subtracting 1 from the current value, but we don't have to write the whole thing out again. Yeah, so this is going to be our kind of first very primitive example. Let's run it, and let's make some modifications to it. Actually, in the very end, let's just print our inventory list, so our black shoes dictionary, like this. And let's print it once before we run our code, so that we see before and every time after when we make a purchase. So yeah, let's just run this, see what happens, and then let's understand. So, alright, so what do we get? We get the prompt, or first we get the output of our inventory list, and as we see here, there's no order to it, even though I put in 42 first and 38 last. They're just mixed and matched, so there's no order to this dictionary, or to our inventory list, because it's a dictionary. And now we're being asked, which shoe size would you like to buy? And so let's put in shoe size 42. And so we want to buy shoes that are size 42. And so if we see here, this is our inventory that we started with. And now if we compare the values, size 40 has still 4 shoes, size 41 here, still 3 shoes, size 42 has 2 shoes before, and then we've purchased 1, and now we've gone down to 1. Now size 38 has 0, just like here, and size 39 has 1. And so what we've done is we've purchased a shoe effectively. We've removed a shoe from our stock because the user asked to buy that shoe. So now let's continue. Which shoe size would you like to buy now? Let's buy shoe size 39, and we see here we start off with 40. We still have all our 40s. We still have all our shoe size of 41. We only have 1 shoe of size 42 left because we purchased 1 up here. We still have no shoes of size 38 since we never had any. And now the last shoe of size 39 has just been sold from here. So now we also have no more shoes of size 39 left. So what happens, for example, if we type in the size 38? So which shoe size would you like to buy? And let's say, well, we want to buy shoes 38. Now the problem is we don't really have size 38 in stock anymore, but we're not really accounting for that in our code. So if we type in shoe size 38, what we're going to get is, well, our new value here is negative 1. So we still have 4 sizes of 4 shoes of size 40, 3 shoes of size 41, one shoe of size 42, or 1 pair of shoes of size 42, even though we started with 2, we purchased one here. Now we have -1 pair of shoes of size 38. Now what does that mean? Well, that's really confusing. That it really doesn't mean anything. And this is kind of a bug in our code, or a little error. And so we're going to need to account for this, that when we have 0 shoes left in stock, we need to tell the user, I'm sorry, you can't purchase this anymore. We're out of stock. Because we can't have -1 pair of shoes. We can't sell any shoes if we don't have any. So let's just stop our program, and let's account for having 0 shoes. So we have to modify our code a little bit, and the way we're going to modify it is we're going to add an if statement. So with our if statement, we're going to check if we have any of those shoes in stock. So how are we going to check that? Well, to check if we have any of those shoes of the corresponding size in stock, we're going to look at the value corresponding to the shoe size key, and we're going to see if it's greater than 0, or if we have those shoes in stock. So let's write that out. We're going to use our if statement. So we'll type in the if keyword, and then in our black shoes dictionary, or our black shoes inventory list, we're going to look at the purchase size value. So for example, if we type in 41 here, we're going to get all of this is going to give us the value 3. And we're going to see if this black shoes purchase size value, or if the value corresponding to the key purchase size in the black shoes dictionary, and the purchase size is whatever the user inputs, if this is greater than 0, so if this key value here, if this value here is greater than 0, that means we have it in stock. And so what we can do when we have it in stock, so we put our colon here to indicate that we want to start the if statement, and if we have it in stock, we're going to just decrease our count by 1. So we've made a sale. If we have it in stock, we do this. Now what happens if we don't have it in stock? So else, so if it's not greater than 0, let's just tell the user, I'm sorry, but we don't have those shoes in stock anymore. So if we don't have any of these shoes in stock anymore, for example, we don't have any shoes of size 38, let's print to the user, shoes are no longer in stock. So shoes are no longer in stock. So what are we doing? Well, we're checking if we have the shoe size available. So if the value corresponding to the shoe size is greater than 0, and if it is, we're going to decrease that value by 1, which effectively means we've made a sale. And if it isn't, we're going to tell the user the shoes are no longer in stock, and we're not going to do anything. So let's run this code, and let's see what happens. So here, make this a little bit bigger again. And so this is the inventory that we start with. So we've got 4 shoes of size 40, 3 of size 41, 2 of size 42, no shoes of size 38, and 1 shoe of size 39. Now, which shoe size would we like to buy? Well, let's see if it still works for us. Let's buy a pair of shoes of size 42. And so we see in our new list, we still have our 4 shoes of size 40, our 3 pairs of shoes of size 41. Now we've only got 1 pair of shoes left of size 42 because we purchased one from here, so we're decreasing value by 1. We still have no shoes of size 38, and we have 1 pair of shoes of size 39. So now let's try to purchase a pair of shoes of size 38. So if we did it before, we would have gotten -1 here, but let's see what happens now. Well, we would try to buy shoes of size 38, and we print to the user, the shoes are no longer in stock. And let's compare inventory list before and after. So shoe size 40, we still got 4, 41, still got 3, 42, we still got 1, 38, we still got 0, so we didn't change anything here, we're not going into the negatives. Great. And shoe size 39, well, we still have 1. So that's great. So now we've kind of managed to avoid this negative error. So we're not selling shoes if we don't have the shoes in stock anymore. But what about if we want to, for example, just quit out of this loop? So right now the only way that we can leave is if we stop our loop. But let's try to implement a method that we can just exit our loop if we have a certain input, so that we don't have to stop our program every time, but that we can just type in a value and our program is going to stop. So let's stop our program and then let's implement this. So what do we want to do? Well, what we want to do is we want to just put in a certain value, and with this value we're going to stop our program. And so the value that we're going to choose is, well, let's stick with a negative number. So we'll say if a negative number was inputted, then let's stop our program. So let's say if purchase size is less than 0, so if a user puts in a negative number for a shoe size they would like to buy, so that doesn't make any sense. So if they put in a negative number here, we're going to stop our loop, or we're going to break out of our loop. Yeah, so we'll have a break here. So we'll say if our shoe size, if the user says the shoe size they would like to buy is less than 0, we're going to break. And what that means is we're going to go out of this loop. So we're going to leave our kind of infinite loop where we continuously ask the user to buy shoes. And so this is kind of a nice implementation where we can just stop our program. So let's run this and let's see what happens and why it happens. So we've got our initial inventory list here. Now let's try to buy shoes a size 38. Well, the shoes are no longer in stock, just like we've implemented here. If we buy shoes a size 40, our shoes a size 40 goes down by 1, so we've made a sale. And now let's try to buy shoes of size -1, for example. So what happens is we break out of our loop because the number that we put in here is less than 0, so now purchase size takes on the value -1, and we check here if purchase size is less than 0. Well, the value of purchase size is -1, so -1 is less than 0. And so what we do is we break out of the loop, so we stop the loop. So as we've seen here, we've kind of left the infinite loop of continuously asking the user to buy shoes. Yeah, so what we've created here is a very simple use case of just a shop owner, and he has just pairs of black shoes, or the same black shoes in different sizes, and we've displayed this in a dictionary rather than a list, for example, because we don't really care about the order. All we care about is accessing the elements, so accessing the shoe size, and seeing how many of those are left. And so the best way to organize that would be in a dictionary, because here we can have our shoe size as the key, and our value is going to be how many pairs are left. So that's very easy to access. So we can just access it from here if we just look at the purchase size and we access it, and from this we can get how many shoes are left. Yeah, so we've created a small kind of loop that simulates this kind of store situation for a very simple store, and we continuously ask the user what they would like to buy. And if they put in a valid shoe size, we're going to decrease the value by 1. If we don't have the shoe in stock anymore, we're going to tell them the shoes are no longer in stock. And if they put in a negative number, we're going to break. Now, we can obviously expand this to say, for example, if we don't have the shoes in here, we also print a different message. So we can create another custom message that tells the user, oh, we don't even carry those shoe sizes, so we never have those shoe sizes. But this would just be different kind of if expansions on this loop. So we can add different if cases to account for special situations that we want to. So the special situations that we accounted for here was if the if the shoe size or the number of shoes left for a specific shoe size is greater than 0, we make a sale. So that's one specific case. If the user puts in a shoe size that's less than 0, we break out of the loop. That's another specific case. And otherwise, we print out that the shoes are no longer in stock. So we have kind of two cases that we check for and a go-to case if all else fails. So if we can expand this program very easily, if we just add other if cases, so we can add special features for whatever situations we'd like. But we've kind of just created the basic functions, and every time at the end of our loop, we print out our inventory list or we print out our dictionary. That shows us how many of a specific shoe or how many of each shoe size we still have left in stock.